Hey, what's going on, my beautiful people? Hey, what's going on, my beautiful people? I just thought I would come on here and talk to you guys a little bit about attachment styles and more specifically, the anxious attachers and how they're handling this quarantine situation. As an anxious attacher myself, I still have my days where I struggle, where I have my triggers, and definitely losing control, having uncertainty is one of the triggers for me because I like to have certainty. I like to have things like somewhat in my control. As an anxious attacher who has a living girlfriend, a living spouse, living wife, right now they're probably in paradise because they crave that closeness, they crave that intimacy that other attachment styles aren't necessarily craving like them. So a dismissive attacher right now, they're probably losing it because they can't leave to go to their work. They don't have their autonomy that they're used to. But the anxious attacher is feeling it like this is just one long date. Right? This is one long courting session that they're having, and not every attachment style thinks that way. So if you're an anxious attacher who uh, don't have their spouse living with them and they're actually abiding by the rules, right now you may be struggling because what the government's telling us, it's not exactly happening the same way that we'd like it to. Um, we're apart from our spouse. We're apart from our our connections that we have. Because as an anxious attacher, you don't necessarily just crave that intimacy from just your romantic partner. You crave it from your friends and from your coworkers also. You can that style attaches to many different relationships and not just your romantic relationship, but that's the one where it becomes unhealthy and your whoever your spouse is, you may latch on to them and you may get clingy and get really needy and rely on them for a lot of your needs to be fulfilled because as a kid you didn't have those needs filled. You were struggling to get that attention and that closeness that you wanted with your primary caregiver. So right now during quarantine, it's a really difficult time because we need that to kind of like, and I say we as a collective because I like to consider myself a recovering anxious attacher because I've been able to move myself more towards the secure part, and it's taken a lot of work and it's taken a lot of self control and a lot of digging back into my history and just seeing where this attachment style came from. And my attachment style came from, uh, you know, most likely what I've analyzed was my dad leaving when I was 3 because I can still remember when it happened. And my mom, I was a mother's boy, so I really attached on to my mom, and she played the role of mom and dad. And I feared when she left. I can remember my grandmother saying that I used to really break down when my mom used to leave, and she used to yell at me and say, "Your mom's not going anywhere; she's coming back." But she was all I had. And as I got older, as an adult, whatever spouse I latched onto, they were kind of treated more like my uh, primary caregiver as far as like meeting my emotional needs. I was really needy and really clingy. And I'm still in recovery with that because, once your attachment style is formed, you have to learn as much as you can about it and know how to heal from it and how to identify your triggers, as well as learn a little bit about healthier partners to attach to, because something that anxious attachers tend to do is latch on to dismissive avoidance, and they're the ones that are pretty much like our arch nemesis. And unless you become more of a secure attacher, then you'll continue to either annoy that person, push them further away, because we crave that intimacy, and the dismissives, they crave that independence, because they can't quite comprehend why you would need them around so much, because they don't need you around so much. They're perfectly capable of doing it on their own. But anxious attachers are ones that are really more capable of changing their attachment styles and becoming more secure, because they have the drive and the willingness to do it. So during COVID, it's really tough, because if you're not with your spouse, and are you with the person that you are in a romantic relationship with, it's making you cringe a little bit at the thought of them, you know, not calling you when you want them to, not pretty much being in communication with you all day long, because usually when you're bored, you don't you're not able to control those wild thoughts or those anxious thoughts. So that's it. Like I said, I just want to come over here really quick and address that issue. If you want my help, reach out to me. My website, www.fruitfulseeds, with a Z at the end.com. And like I said, I've been really learning about my anxious attachment style and helping people heal from theirs, helping them get more secure with what they struggle with. So have a good night, y'all. Happy Wednesday.